This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 12, and it reads, Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. First and foremost, as always, just want to give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom was the God of the living, Yahweh, by Hashem, Hamashiach Yahushai Barach Kodash, which is all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten and anointed Son, Yahushua, and the Holy Spirit, who was our strength and our Redeemer, and our light and our salvation. In the same tongue, when the utter Mashiach, Kabawadim, Lahasakwanim, Shal, Gadawabakab, many double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, the true shepherds of Israel, along with the like-minded Sakwanim, while Akim across the four corners of the earth, also pushing the sound doctrine, faith, truth, and sincerity. And Shalom, honors and salutation to Bayasha Dawadah, the house of David, along with the rest of the one-third elect men, women, and children of Israel. And this is your fellow servant, Malak Rayash, back at it again. Another video, another epistle through the spirit of prophecy. All right. Speaking about these end time prophecies, all right, including these snares of death, these ambushes that Yahweh by Shemeshah preparing for the wicked. Okay, who do not, adhere to the righteous instruction of righteousness, and how imperative it is to adhere to such righteous instruction written in the scriptures. Okay, written aforetime for our learning, so that that we may have patience to hope in the scriptures in these last days, pursuing Romans the 15th chapter. All right. So these snares of death are to prophesy to ensnare the wicked to their detriment, to their demise. All right. And that includes, as of recently, these quote unquote unprecedented attacks that have happened the first week of the so-called New Year 2024, a year, that's going to bring, an immense amount of destruction, chaos, mayhem that we've never before seen. Further prophesied in Daniel the 12th chapter. But going to the main article here on CBS Detroit is entitled "BOMB threats lead to brief lockdowns and evacuation of multiple state capitals, including Michigan." All right, it's going to further go into the vibration, Jacob's trouble. How they're going to further use the so-called threat of national security. Okay. Amidst these domestic terror attacks, these series of events where these cops, these modern day Roman centurions are getting attacked, even put to death. All right. In the midst of civil unrest, prophesied in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, as you can see here on this little video here. All right. Fair use. Just police raid UC Berkeley People's Park, arrest 7. So it looks like the live is ended. I was watching this a few minutes ago. Okay, actually not. All right, so this footage looks familiar. I'm not entirely sure where it's located, but so the live ended. As you can see there was a raid. There was a police raid down there. All right. It says 100 police officers with SWAT and riot gear entered People's Park early this morning to remove a coalition of students, protesters, including anti-fascists and unhooked people who attempted to hold a space which UC Berkeley intends to turn into dorms. 7 people were arrested. All right, so we know these devils looking to politicize. They're looking to turn this so-called country, this wicked capitalistic corporation known as America, Babylon the Great, into a police state of a totalitarian, satanic, dystopian future where everyone's livelihoods is regulated through digital currency of AI technology, through the chip, the mark of the beast. All right. So these series of events that are happening are going to, further lead to the road to the chip. Okay. Along with these other end time prophecies, including Jacob's trouble and eventually Armageddon, this last world's war. All right. So I'm going back to the main article. All right. This is back on CBS Detroit. All right. As soon as it loads back up. It says multiple state capitals received BOMB threats Wednesday morning that led to brief evacuations or lockdowns as police investigated, but no evidence of explosives was found. The warnings came after a spate of false reports of shootings at the homes of public officials in recent days. Connecticut, including Connecticut, Georgia, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, and Montana were among the states that evacuated state house offices or buildings. lawmakers in Kentucky and Mississippi have begun meeting in legislative sessions. So this is, speaking of shooting, this is the most recent event that took place today down there in Iowa. A report on USA Today says gunman dead after multiple people shot at Perry High School in Iowa. Live updates. The gunman who shot multiple people at a high school in Iowa on Thursday is dead, according to multiple media reports. The Associated Press, citing a law enforcement official who was not authorized to speak publicly on the investigation, reported that authorities believe the shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That's always a story with Esau. Fred confirmed this could very well be a psyop. Because we're not ignorant to be devil's devices, but whether it is or not, these are for the ensigns of the downfall of Babylon. All right, America meaning bitter. Okay, this bitter queendom of satanic rulership, where feminism, promoting modern day Queen of Heaven, Semiramis worship is prevalent. Sodomy as well. All right, insubordination and rebellion against righteous order and authority of righteous instruction of the scriptures. This is why the sinful kingdom in Amos 9 is talking about America, Babylon Great, and this place is about to be destroyed, man. All right. And we see the writings on the wall through these ensigns, because the spirit of Babylon is failing. The spirit of Egypt, spoke about in Isaiah 19 chapter, is failing. All right. Just wanted to, speak about that. It says Dallas County Sheriff Adam Infante said in a news conference that the shooting was first reported at 7:37 a.m., shortly before classes at Perry High School were set to begin. Deputies were on scene within 7 minutes. He said there were multiple gunshot victims, but that it's still unclear exactly how many are injured and what the extent of those are. Now, this never made sense to me, being that we're in a modern day technological world where these devils can spy on us through the lens of our laptops, through smart technology, including smart TVs, smartphones, smart appliances. Okay, they have cameras every damn where. So how the fuck do you not know? How do you not have this information? These are just further red flags. Either way, the vibration of death and destruction of the judgments of the plagues of Yahweh Shemashai, are evident. Okay, and it's not a coincidence these things are happening. So this is another incident that took place. This is on New York Post. It says gunman shoots way into Colorado Supreme Court building, sets fire before surrendering police. A 43-year-old man was arrested early Tuesday after he opened fire and barricaded himself inside the Colorado Supreme Court building in Denver, authorities said. Colorado State Patrol said in a statement they did not believe the incident was related to earlier threats against the court's 7 justices after they ruled 4-3 on December 19th that former President Donald Trump was ineligible to appear on the state's March 5th primary ballot. Now, that leads me to this next article on The Hill entitled 5 Major Threats to U.S. National Security in 2024. So jump down to the first section, okay, to expound on, the political aspect, of these and so-called inspired shootings. I'll jump down to the section here under domestic extremist group attacks. It says attacks on the homeland by domestic extremist groups have been on the rise in the last several years, spurred on by political strife. See that? Political strife. All right. Which reminds me of January 16th, 4 years ago in 2000, or what was it, back in 2021, 2021. All right. On January, January 16th or January 6th, Salakia, when Trump was still in office, and you had that, that attack that happened on behalf of the right-wing extremists. So it says conspiracy theories, overseas wars, and other tensions. All right. Several attacks widely reported in the last few years include the May 22 racially motivated elimination of 10 people in Buffalo, New York, all of whom were black, Israelites, so-called black. It says in 2018, an attack on Pittsburgh synagogue left 11 people eliminated. All right. So says DHS assessed that the next year will continue to see a high threat of violence from individuals radicalized in the United States, marked by lone offenders or small group attacks that occur with little warning. These actors will continue to be inspired, and motivated by a mix of quote-unquote conspiracy theories, personalized grievances, and enduring racial, ethnic, religious, and anti-government ideologies. And that includes us, that their Esau is going to lump into, this category, domestic extremism and so forth, under the Project Megiddo. All right, so it says often shared online according to the threat assessment report. All right, so we're not ignorant devil devices, but we know that Yahweh Shemashai is behind these ambushes. All right, this is outside election interference. In the 2020 presidential election, national security officials had to contend with a slew of concerns, potential cyber attacks, targeting voting infrastructure, threats against poll workers and officials, outside foreign influence, and other actors looking to undermine confidence in the election outcome. So they're using these various quote unquote unprecedented attacks, which are really just domestic terrorist attacks, mainly, engineered, whether the majority of them are or not, that definitely appears to be the case by way of Esau's track record of these such events, especially around this time, further, inciting fear in the people of, worrying about or being concerned about national security, so they could further shut down, they could further justify shutting down the border, shutting down logistics and other, forms of transportation. And they're going to further, conditionalize people, to consider these cyber attacks, okay, as in the midst of these various domestic terror attacks that are happening, okay, they're looking to further blame on Russia and their other enemies, which it mentions here. Jump down. Says for 4 years. It says national security experts have for years warned that foreign governments, mainly Russia, China, and Iran, seek to destabilize the United States via its elections. So this is what This is what they're doing. All right. This is what they're planning on doing. It says we expect the 2024 election cycle will be a key event for possible violence and foreign influence targeting our election infrastructure, processes, and personnel, states the DHS Homeland Threat Assessment Report. All right. And what happened right out the gate in 2024? This particular incident here, down in Rochester, New York. Report on New York Post, it says cops recovered suicide note after deranged man drove car packed with explosives into crowd at Rochester concert, eliminating 2. A couple was eliminated and numerous other people injured not hours into the new year when a deranged man driving a car filled with explosives barreled into a crowd leaving a rock concert in upstate New York, police said. All right. Law enforcement sources initially reported that the crash was being investigated as possible domestic terrorism, but said Tuesday there was no terror link. All right, but it's not a coincidence. This happened around around a time where, in the midst of these series of domestic terror attacks, okay, ironically, taking place within these Capitol buildings. Come on, man, simultaneously involving Connecticut, Georgia, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, and Montana, along the states that were evacuated state house offices or buildings. So we're not ignorant devil's devices. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, we know that Yahweh Shemashai is behind these ambushes of death that will not befall the elect, because you're gonna, like it says in Revelation 12, you're the accusers of our brethren because you're the devil. Okay, but we're not going to succumb to these false accusations that you're going to further, look to demonize the ministry. Okay, and by blaming the ministry for your Hegelian dialectic, okay, you creating these problems of the threats of national security, in the midst of, engineered attacks and civil war and so forth, to blame on us. Okay. Because we have Yahweh by Shemashai, so we have the victory over the devices of ye devils, like it speaks about. All right. In Psalm 37:7 and so forth. So this is back in Jeremiah 51:12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord Yahweh by Shemashai had both devised and done that which he spake against inhabitants of Babylon. All right, you're jumping over to Psalm 141:9. It says here, keep me from the snares which they have laid for me, and the gins of the workers of iniquity. All right, sin upon sin. All right, that these devils drink like water, and spoken about in the book of Job. All right, because they are the devil, and they are not capable of righteousness. And America, Babylon the Great, the hammer of the entire earth, which is the wicked covering cast of evil, is the epitome of Esau, Edom's wicked, vile, profane nature that's exposing him. All right, so this is Proverbs 3:25, and that's why, speaking of which, that Epstein list, have been further circulating the headlines of Esau's media and propaganda within the last few days. All right, she actually looked up the list. All right. And we're not shocking to see the names on there. They said Eminem was on there. They said Naomi Campbell was on there. A whole bunch of other, characters on there. Phil Collins, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. All right. So you devils being exposed. So this is Proverbs 3:25. It says, "Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord Yahweh by Shem Shai shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken." All right, from being taken from the snares, these ambushes of death, destruction, and mischief. Okay, that will befall the wicked. All right, including that couple down in Rochester who think they're having a GAYO time. Celebrating Janus. The god of transition on so-called New Year's Day. Okay, and now in the spiritual realm. It's case in point. So this is Ezekiel 7:25, and it says, "Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none." Like it says in 1 Thessalonians 5, it says, "When they shall seek peace and safety, sudden destruction shall fall upon them." Ezekiel 7:26 says, "Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet. But the law shall perish from the priest, and counsel from the ancients," because the vast majority of these people are not listening to the prophets because they don't perceive us to be prophets. They perceive us to rather be bums, hoodlums, niggas, just random niggas on the street begging for change. You know what I'm saying? Strung out on drugs. This is what these people, perceive us to be. But see, this is Yahweh Bashem Shai set this up on purpose to choose the weak things to confound the wise. Roughly paraphrasing. All right. Those who will be perceived to be weak are actually strong, to confound those who are really weak that are perceived to be strong. Okay, and that's the wicked. All right, that's why mischief, shall come upon mischief, rumor shall be upon rumor. Okay, then they shall seek a vision of the prophet when our hell breaks loose. Then it's going to be too late, because the tongues of the roots of the mouths of the prophets will cling to the tongues of the mouths of the prophets will cling to the roots of the mouths of the prophets in Ezekiel the 7th chapter, or so in the book of Ezekiel. All right. Meaning what? We're not going to be out there for very much longer. All right, because these end time prophecies are manifesting off these pages, man. All right. Because these people are not seeking wise counsel from the ancients, which are the ancient prophets in Jeremiah 28:8. But you've been reincarnated, that you see, what people see on the highways and hedges, man, that they ignore, predominantly. So this is Ezekiel 7:27, and it says, "The king shall mourn, and the prince shall be clothed with desolation, and the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, and according to the deserts will I judge them, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai." All right. So there's that great trouble coming, man, in the land. All right. Mainly, the main land of our captivity, the land of drawing waters. Okay. Babylon the Great. Okay. Modern day Egypt, meaning bondage. And the spirit of bondage is wearing off, which is why people on edge and they're lashing out, man, protesting. Okay. Engaging in civil unrest. Reminds me of this real.
It's basically like 90% of your entire back
Salakia.
is like lats, right? This part of your. We are Somali.
All right, see. So there was a this part here.
Appreciate that, but I think it's time that he.
Now you can see here's a Jake with a beard on his face who attacks a Las Vegas judge during sentencing. He said, "Fucking bitch." Hey man, people on edge, man, especially Jake. Start beating this sheet of my judge's ass.
I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else, because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
And she was talking all that hot shit because she was comfortable. She was in her false insecurity. What it's saying in Proverbs 3. You see? 1 Thessalonians 5, when they shall seek peace, safety, sudden destruction fall upon them, especially within the terror of Judah. The 2/3 of our people, in Isaiah 19:17, Micah 5:8, and Isaiah 51:20 and so forth, are going to rise up against you devils, man. Like it says in Genesis 49, what shall it take to rouse Judah up? Jake is tired, man. Jake is tired of this oppressing, lawless society. Spoke about in Micah 1:4, Habakkuk 1:4, and so forth. Psalm 82:5, Job 10 and 21-22. So I believe that Jake got life. And you can see he had a beard on his face. You see? So they're going to further use this, you know what I'm saying, to associate with these series of domestic attacks and Fred demonize Jake. You know, he had Biggie on his shirt.
I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court...
He lunged at her ass like a lion. I initially saw this last night on Instagram. I was like, oh shit. And then I woke up this morning. I seen brothers, you know, doing videos on it. So, hey man, you know, we're in that spirit, man. We're in that time anyway of the spirit of judgment. Okay, so this, you know, which confirmed this could very well be the year, man. All right, you know. So I believe I was able with the articles. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this. I'm gonna go ahead and end this thing on off. I gotta take off. But yeah, that was pretty much the point. All right. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this off in Ecclesiastes 8 and 5. And it says, "Whoso keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment." All right. Those who are prudent, okay, will fear Yahweh Shemashai and pray within their measure of faith to be protected in these last days, or right, within these perilous times. And, you know, prophesied in 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. Okay. Because of this. Proverbs 22 and 3, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself under the shadow of the wings of Yahweh Shemashai," through his name. Okay. And the faith, you know, the measure of faith and, you know, in the works of his name, in which which is his word, to rehearse the righteous law, statutes, commandments to the best of our ability, by way of our measure of faith, because faith without works is dead. Proverbs 22 and 3, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." All right. So majority of these people that exist on this earth are going to wind up within the ambushes of the Lord, pursuing Jeremiah 51 and 12. All right. These snares of death. Okay. Pursuing the second Esdras 15 and 4, "Because they are faithless, and the faithless shall die in their unfaithfulness," roughly paraphrasing. So I'm going to end off on that note and pray this lesson for the edifying, exhorting to the elect, and give all praises, glory, and infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is the God of the living, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Baruch Kodash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this video. All right, and with that, shalom to the elect, and on to the next one.